shit to me, let me know, hey, I ain't got to run the image. I got this. I can hold my own. There was some daughter-in-laws, they go rat me out to my sons. Yeah. Can't stand it. Don't go rat me out on my son.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. This is a really interesting scene I watched in episode 8 of Love is Blind. And I wanted to make it actually a thing that I think everybody should pay attention. It's actually a big problem. Edmund's mum telling Kalyibrah, don't go and rat me out to my son. There's something deeper about that. The tone, the rhetoric, the gaze that she gave her, the look she had in her eye. And if you want to see the look, you can see the look right here. This look right here, does that look like somebody? And I mean, I paused it so it doesn't make it look badder than it actually needs to be. But that doesn't give you any confidence that what she's saying is about, oh, we have women stuff to talk about, and that's why we don't want to tell our sons something. No, it seems like there's things that are happening underneath the surface that are contradictory to making it a healthy relationship between her and her sons because of the relationship she has with their daughters-in-law. So I want to have a conversation about, parent-in-laws and family-in-laws and what we're supposed to do with them, because these need effective boundaries. And you need not to be afraid to do so. This is actually on Edmund. And every time I do a video like this, I keep telling you, whoever's parent it is, they have the duty to put boundaries in place to make sure that your partner feels safe. We're going to talk about that. Because maybe also I have to be very fair and say, maybe she meant it in a way of, our woman things and we have woman conversation. Don't go and tell him because he doesn't need to know that. It's going to worry him for no reason. Maybe she meant it that way. I don't think she did, but I have to always be open to that particular perspective. But I'm going to take the first perspective. I think there's something sinister about what she said. And I'm going to provide you my reasons as to why I think there's something sinister with that as well. If you disagree or agree, leave a comment down below in the comment section. Let me know what you thought about this particular scene and how you interpreted it, because I think we can always learn from each other with different perspectives. So let's just break it down a little bit more. But first, before you do, make sure you're liking, you are sharing, you're subscribing, and you're hyping up this video, because when you hype it up, we get blessed. So hype this video up. You see that button? There's a little thing at the bottom. Hype it. Okay. Press that hype button. Okay. All right. Appreciate you. All right. Let's get into this. Okay. Let's get into this. Let's just watch this back a little bit as well. Right. I'm just gonna just watch it. Let's watch a bit more of this.
Everything don't gotta go back there.
Exactly. Thank you. And you are the first one out of the 4 that I have, daughter-in-laws out of the 4. You are the first one to actually speak up and say, exactly, I ain't gotta go run and tell Edmund everything.
Now, why is it, first and foremost, that there are 4 other daughter-in-laws who've all run back to their husbands, who are your sons? What are you saying to these daughters-in-laws that they're running back to their sons? Look, a daughter and a mother-in-law's relationship is sacred. It's like, because you're 2 women in this situation, right? She lost a son, but she gains a daughter. So why is it that the daughter would want to run back and tell the son? More than likely, you're saying some stuff and doing some stuff that's detrimental not only to the daughter-in-law, but probably to your son's relationship with your daughter-in-law. It's probably key information that's probably affecting them in a way that's not helping them grow, and it's causing more animosity, right? Because all 4 of them are snitching. Now, we can tell that Kalyibrah is from a certain stock, so she understands certain things. But she probably might find out, just like that before, that by not telling Edmund certain things, you go and find out this is probably going to cause animosity in your relationship. Now, why do I make that deduction? Well, let's look a little bit earlier on, because she actually said that, she feels like Kalyibrah is the kind of type that can, kind of talk shit, basically, and talk crap back to her, basically. And I was like, okay, but why would she need to talk crap back to her? That doesn't make sense. Like, your daughter and mother-in-law, why would you need to be talking crap back to each other? Do you know what I mean? Look at this.
To me, let me know, hey, I ain't gotta run the image. I got this. I can hold my own. There was some daughter-in-laws, they go rat me out to my sons. I think she'll be ready to talk shit to me. Let me know, hey, I ain't gotta run the image. I got this.
Now let's pause it right there. Why would a mother-in-law be ready to talk about? And I mean, she looks like she can talk shit back to me. What are you talking in the first place that she can talk shit back to you? You know what I mean? Like, that immediately is a red flag for me. Immediately activity, right? And this is on Edmund, because it's your mother. You're gonna have to set a boundary. You're gonna have to set a boundary that, hey, ma, this is my wife, future wife to be, and I don't want you talking S to her. Because if you've been doing the exact same thing to other 4 daughter-in-law, and if you're going to be talking, and here's how you have to do it when you set boundaries, you have to set consequences. In fact, I'll do that in a second or two. Give me a minute or 2. I'll get to that place where I can help you set boundaries. Right? I just want to be able to point out some of the stuff I noticed. So as she said, obviously, she's going to talk S back to me. And then she says, obviously, you won't say anything, right? You're not going to say anything. And so now she's actually inducting Kalyibrah into a situation of secretiveness. Now, this is going to cause issues, because if there are things that are going to be detrimental to Kalyibrah or to Kalyibrah and Edmund's connection, and Kalyibrah is now bound to sworn secrecy, a lot of families do this, where they induct their children into secrecy, and the children are now locked into a life of not telling the truth to people and not allowing people in and not being able to be vulnerable, because they're always scared of the repercussions of an abandonment by the parents, because they've told them to be secret about things that happen in the household. Now, of course, I'm not expecting anybody to go out there and just tell everybody their business. But you come from a household where there is a lot of control, a lot of fear, because you're afraid of what punishment may come from being vulnerable, from saying something about what happens in your home. Yeah, that usually isn't an emotionally safe place. That's usually a place that's very controlled, but also it's a place of fear. And that usually breeds very people-pleasing spirits and people-pleasing behaviors. So the fact that the mom is now inducing Kalyibrah, who's a new ass, who's a new fiance, and coming into the situation talking about, her first impression of her really was that she ain't it. And now she realizes that Kalyibrah can actually keep a secret. Now she is it. So all of a sudden, from watching her Instagram and be like, that's not now, I saw her Instagram, that ain't it. But then when she comes in and she can keep a secret now, oh, now she's my kind of girl. Now, of course, parents are entitled to change their mind and change their opinions. Nobody's saying you have to stay in that place, but there's repercussions of this. Okay. But the other 4 sons, I'm probably sure, have an issue with her in some shape or form, because all the daughter-in-laws are running back to their sons. She's likely a problem waiting to blow up and to mess up a lot of things along the way. Okay. She may have impulse control and do or say whatever. She may be very intrusive as of yet. We don't know. These are things I'm just kind of highlighting that can be an issue with parent-in-laws. Okay. Now, here's a key thing, and I told you I was going to say about how to put boundaries in place with a parent-in-law. First and foremost, parent-in-laws must have limited access to you, because the Bible says that a husband should cleave to his wife and he should leave his mother and father's home. Husbands, cleave to your wife. Leave your mother and father's home. When we talk about home in this perspective, from a biblical perspective, doesn't necessarily mean leave the actual roof. I mean, that is a part of it too, right? But leaving meaning leaving the authority of your parents' home, meaning they're no longer the authority over you now. You were once a child, you spoke like a child, but now you're an adult. This is also leaning back into Galatians, I think it's about 3, where it talks about how the master, the young master that is under pupillage and tutorage, and he eventually graduates becoming the teacher or the master in a sense, right? And it's somewhat the law and the spirit, and understanding that in the same capacity, you are a child coming into an adult. When you become a man and you become a woman, you are now in your own authority. You have your own sovereignty over your own life. You make decisions that are going to affect you, and they are solely you. Okay. And it's on you. You have the responsibility and the accountability for your life and the decisions you decide to make. So when it comes to parent-in-laws and they're trying to dictate to you your life, you have to let them know, hey, Ma, I appreciate that you care about me and I can see that you love me. But when you decide to start talking about Edmund, or you start talking about my wife in a way that's derogatory, or that is demeaning, or that's mean, or that's nasty, what that does is that makes me feel angry, that makes me feel hurt, that makes me feel disrespected. And when I start feeling those things, I start to pull away from you, and I start to disconnect from the relationship that we actually have. So in future, here's what I want to see. When you talk about my wife, when you talk about my husband, I want you to talk good things. If you don't have anything nice to say, I need you to keep it to yourself, because me and my partner are one. So whatever you're saying about them, you're saying about me. If you have a critique, come to me directly, have that conversation. I don't mind. I have a conversation with you, and then I can report that. But the way you're talking to my partner, this is unacceptable. And if you continue down this lane and this path, we will have to spend some time separate and apart until you can learn how to respect that I'm a man or I'm a woman and I have my own life and I can make my own choices. This is how we put people in check respectfully. We don't be rude. We'd have to cuss them out, but we let them know. And this is actually a formula. It's called CBEEC. What I did was I first complimented the mother, saying I could understand where she's coming from, and I really wanted to validate her feelings, right? I complimented her. And then I talked about her behavior when she gets mean, nasty, and she gets, crude, right? Then I spoke about the emotions, how it made me feel when she does those behaviors. And then I spoke about when I have those feelings, what does it make me do? I have to explain the emotion and explain it in a behavior format for myself I now want to not be and now around you. It causes conflict in my relationship, etc., etc. And then we end with the C. So it's C, B, E, E, C. Right? And the C is for change. Now we can negotiate in a change, but the reality is there's no negotiation here because I don't like this behavior. There's some behaviors that don't need to be negotiated. This is the consequence also as well, right? So change can also be consequence. This is the consequence now because I want to see change. And if you can't do that, I will have to limit my interactions with you and I will have to separate myself. I cannot be accepting of this behavior because two are becoming one. Whatever you say about my wife is what you're saying about me because this is my household now. And under my household, this can't be running, right? That's what needs to happen. But if Edmund doesn't do that, he could see himself in a bigger trouble later on down the line. Whatever serpent you don't deal with in Genesis, it will become a dragon by Revelation. And I want you to understand that things grow over time. Things get progressively worse if you don't know how to maintain that very thing. So let me know your thoughts down below in the description box. That's in the description, in the comment section. This is the kind of stuff we teach also in coaching as well. We teach people how to be able to have hard conversations. We teach them how to have boundaries, and we do it from a basis of really understanding your background, your childhood, and knowing what kind of relationships you have with your parents and your family members and ex-partners to really understand what you need in order to make better choices in the present. Your past is affecting your present, and we want to be able to now begin to give you the tools and the resources to start to do that. What I've given you today is what we call CBEEC. It's a tool that I use with clients to help them have those hard conversations to make there be changes as well. Okay, so you can use the link down below in the description box if you want to sign up to my coaching. I will be closing it by November time. I'll take a little break from coaching just to be able to refocus and re-energize. But we still have a few spots open before that time. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. You click on that wonderful bell button and notifications of the uploads. And don't forget, hype this video as well. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. It's not easy. It's not easy.
Little black book, you know what time it is.